Now, look, I have come out and I've said that I don't believe that this is going to happen. I don't think this is going to happen. I believe the prodigy is going to remain at PSG, and I believe that the prodigy, he is focused on a challenge. He's focused on a challenge, and I think because I was watching an interview with him on ESPN FC, where they were just talking about just his idols, him growing up, and just him as an inspiration for youngsters, and I think just watching him talk and everything, I think you definitely see a guy who is aware of his talents, who is aware of what he is and what he could be. And I think for him, him leaving PSG would sort of be admitting defeat. Because I think at PSG, he's like, you know what? No, I believe that, let me put the wrongs right, which was that second leg against Man United, when he missed a lot of those opportunities. But you learn from it. And he realized that, I can be the one to help inspire PSG to the Champions League glory. And I think with Neymar potentially leaving, then Mbappe will be like, all right, no, this is now officially my team now. You, El Khelafi, you want to change the whole climate of the team? That's cool. But I'm the king now. It's I'm the captain now. I'm the captain now. So yeah, so I think he's going to stay. But let's just let's have fun. Let's have fun. If Mbappe does come to Liverpool, first thing to address is this, and I will always keep saying this will be a repetitive theme. Don't assume that an amazing player will come into your team and automatically make it better. That is something that people need to understand. It's all about chemistry. It's all about chemistry. If the chemistry isn't right, your team can't function, because a football team isn't just a bunch of individuals. It's individuals within a system, because football is a very complex sport. If you have 5, 6 individuals, you won't win. A strong team with strong chemistry will always beat a bunch of 5, 6 individuals, just based on the complexity of football, the variables, and the importance of strategies, tactics, and systems. An individual can only do one thing. He's only one man. This isn't basketball where it's 5-on-5, and an individual can have a massive impact. An individual can have a massive impact, but not to the same degree as they do in a game of basketball. So the issue is, okay, if you hire Mbappe, is that going to mess with the chemistry of Liverpool's team? Liverpool have great chemistry. The chemistry is great. It is what got them to 97 points. It is what got them to now be the champions of Europe. The team works. They don't need another player. They don't need another player. But when we're playing big boy football and we're trying to be at the highest level, every season you're trying to improve. Every season you're trying to get better. And if you're a manager and you want to be at the best and you want to stay at the best, you're like, Salah, Mane, you're going to have to fight to stay in the team. It's not a given right for you to be in the first team. No, I want someone breathing down your neck. So you have to fight for your place in the team, which is why the Oos to Liverpool is very interesting, because if the Oos comes into Liverpool, he doesn't automatically start. He's on the bench. But Mane and Salah will now be sweating, because you now have an ambidextrous wide man who, if you're not playing well and you have 2 games you're not playing well, he's going to come on. And if he comes out and he balls and he plays well, meritocracy, baby. He keeps playing, and you now have to fight to get yourself back into the team, because all that matters is the team, the betterness of the team. So for Mbappe coming, the many issues are there. There are many issues and many variations, because this is about playing players in their strongest roles. All because a player can play in 3 different roles, it doesn't mean it's going to work. If I'm a manager, I want my best player in his best role. Even if a player has a secondary role or a tertiary role, I want him to be in his primary role. So if Mbappe comes in now, his strongest role is wide right. That is his strongest role. He can play as a striker. Wide left, I don't really know how that would mess with his head. He's not in number 10. So, and I'll get, I'll slowly get you. Something just came to me. I'll slowly get you. So, if Mbappe comes in, he plays wide right. That means that you now have a choice. It's either Salah or Mbappe. So if it's just between Salah and Mbappe, it's a difficult decision. But if it's between Salah and Mbappe, I'm rolling with Mbappe because of his upside. He's a project, he's a World Cup winner, and the potential for him to. People view him as a generational talent. Salah is an amazing player. Salah is not a generational talent. Mbappe is a generational talent. Homeboys on flipping CNN and getting interviews on ESPN FC. So, but is there a way that Mbappe fits in to where Mbappe can fit in, but you still keep Salah, you still keep Mane, you still keep Firmino? A suggestion is, okay, let's say you take Firmino out and you put Mbappe in that situation there. Mbappe doesn't work well as a striker. I've seen him play as a striker. He's not his strongest position. As we said, we want to put our best players in their primary role. So the difficulty arises. If we're sticking to the best players in the primary role, which is what we want, and I think is the best thing, and the most effective thing and the right thing to do, you are in a situation where you want to keep Salah because he's a proven goal. Not only is he a proven goal scorer, he works for the system. He is in line with the chemistry of the team. He's in line with what Klopp wants, so we want to keep him. But you want to try and fit Mbappe into this team. So this is where you now have to get a little bit creative. You see, talking about players in their primary roles. Let's rewind back. People would have argued that Henry's primary role was the wing. That was his strongest role. But Wenger saw him and said, no, I see this kid's skill set. And this kid is a striker. But I said, wait, how did you know? Look, this guy just fast, quick. But I said, no. I'm going to develop this guy's skills because I believe that there is more that I can get out of this kid for him to be a really good striker. And you see, whenever I name top strikers, I never name Henry. I name Batistuta, I name Weah, I name flipping Drogba, I name Etso as strikers. I never view Henry as a striker. I viewed Henry as a complete forward because he was a different kind of strike. He just wasn't a pure finisher. He was a guy who was, that's what I like to use the word footballing striker, which is the kind of strikers that Barcelona wants, where he can play with the ball on his feet, he brings other guys into the game, and he can score, and he also creates as well. So what I think for Mbappe is he displaces Firmino. Salah keeps his place on the right. Mane keeps his place on the left. But Mbappe is in Klopp's system, which is very similar to what he did with Lewandowski's, where you're not a striker. You're a complete forward. And you can therefore bring skills, because I think whenever you've seen Mbappe play as a striker for, let's say, either France or PSG, he's just been played as a lone man striker. And he's not involved in the play. Which has always been my issue with how Bayern Munich have used Lewandowski, where they've used Lewandowski as just a striker and a finisher. They've not used Lewandowski how Klopp used him, which is that when we break, I want you involved in the break. So I want you close to Götze, I want you close to Ruiz. You're playing 1-2s, you're holding onto the ball, you're turning with the ball, and you're trying to create. So you're involved in the play. You're in our hole, you're a bit restricted, you're coming down. So your circumference of the ground that you cover is a lot wider than a finisher whose circumference is really the 18-yard box, and a little bit outside of the 18-yard box. So for Mbappe coming into this situation, he plays closer to Mane, he plays closer to Salah, and he's combining with them. He's having ones with them. Because we've seen with him, because the thing I have to understand about this, he's young. So people say, oh yeah, Mbappe's dribbling is not so good. He's very predictable. You always know that he feints left and then he goes right. So you know what he's going to do. Those are skills to be developed. He's still young. He's not even yet 21 yet. This guy's a fetus. This guy's a fetus. So you peak, and this is peak. This is proven. It's biology. This is football biology. Peak 26, 27. 28. Those are your peaks. 26, 27, 28. Homeboy isn't even 21 yet. So he's got years before he reaches the peak, which is 26, 27, 28. So if we know how good of a coach Klopp is. The reason why Lewandowski is because of Klopp. This is why Götze was because of Klopp. Because Klopp cultivated and refined their skills in their system. So I think in Mbappe, because remember, people talk about how Firmino, he's a very intelligent player. Because Firmino plays very well in the system and is very aware of what's around him. Firmino doesn't have the finishing that Mbappe has. Firmino doesn't have the explosiveness that Mbappe has. And Firmino doesn't have that, you know what, I can win this thing on me as an individual. Because what Mbappe brings is, amongst just being able to combine with players, being good on the ball, develop his skills, which we know that he has and he can improve upon. We know that this guy has a goal-scoring eye. he can make those runs into the box. Because sometimes what Liverpool have sometimes been missing in those tight games is, all right, this game is tight. There's not a lot of space. All right, Alexander-Arnold, Robertson, we just need a crossing into the box. Crossing into the box for a Firmino, he's not that effective. You cross the ball into an Mbappe, we know of his speed, we know of his movement, and know of his goal-scoring instincts, which are still improving. So that gives Liverpool another outlet if Mane or Salah have been marked out of the game, which is that you cannot go into, let's just get crosses into the box and let's see what Mbappe can do with a header, a finish, or whatsoever, or use him to try and break that offside trap. So that is where I think it will go. Of Mbappe displacing Firmino and Klopp now doing a Wenger Henry on Mbappe of like, I need to change you. There's stuff we need to work on. We need to improve upon you. We need to take your football to a different level, and there are different skills that you need to learn. Because you're still very good right now, but you need to improve your dribbling, your decision making on the ball, your awareness of others that are around you, your general movements, having better understanding of what is happening in the game with the opposition and the players around you, understanding the system that we're playing in. If he learns all of these things, I think, my gosh, he could take Mbappe to the next level. And then it makes Liverpool a very dangerous prospect. But it's not going to happen. But that's just me, HH, giving you an ABC of 1, 2, 3 of how it could happen on a tactical breakdown. Peace. Remember to like the vid. Remember to subscribe. Watch out for more live vids, as every day we'll be covering the latest football news and transfers. Peace out. HHBs. Yo guys, the merch store is here. Click in the description box below to take yourself to the flipping Half of Football Hot clothing store, merch store, man. And you can get yourself a nice little tee like this, man.